Have any of you ever had difficulty reading or understanding a technical novel or technical instructions to some type of a mechanical device? How about tracking your checkbook or credit purchases? If you have, then you've had some kind of idea of what it's like for a dyslexic person to deal with their problems throughout their daily life. According to dyslexia, mylife.org, 10 to 30% of the population has some form of dyslexic symptoms. And to make that figure a little more realistic, that's 40 million people in the population. I'm going to explain a few things to you today about dyslexia and that you may know or may not know, and how individuals with dyslexia manage to cope through their daily life. There are three different things we're going to talk about today. The first one will be the effects of dyslexia and how they affect an individual, and how individuals cope with their symptoms in their daily life, and people that have succeeded throughout their life to deal with their disabilities and actually excel. The symptoms of dyslexia are one of the ways that dyslexics are diagnosed. And those symptoms are depression, low self-esteem, frustration, dislike of school, and an inability to keep up with their grade level. Most people misunderstand what dyslexia actually is. They believe that possibly reading is the only thing that comes under that designation. However, dyslexia also includes reading comprehension, visual acuity, and mathematics. The next thing I'm going to talk about is how dyslexics cope with their disability. In 1968, I married my first wife, and we dated for a while, became married. And after several years, she confided in me that she had difficulty with reading and mathematics. She was tested and diagnosed with dyslexia. She was told by the testing facility that she would never be able to overcome those disabilities because she was too old. She was 38 years old. Which was sort of ironic because she would, 38 years, she wanted to cope with those disabilities. People with, according to the Dyslexia Adult link and dyslexiaadult.com, people with dyslexia have managed to deal with their disabilities because of computers, because of calculators, because they're allows them to utilize the spelling and grammar corrections and allow them to write whatever they want. Another way that they manage to cope is that they're not diagnosed with dyslexia at all because they can read. And people think that because you can read you don't have dyslexia, and that's not necessarily true. Like I said before, the mathematics and other comprehension problems can also enter into it. And that allows them to actually try harder and use other methods to get through their daily problems. Dyslexics utilize 3 words to get through their daily life: patience, practice, and perseverance. They also happen to know their disabilities and what their limitations are. And by knowing their limitations, they can avoid having to run into those problems in daily life. According to the Levinson Medical Center, for learning disabilities, All these people have some form of dyslexic symptoms. Two presidents, movie stars, artists, and even scientists have been diagnosed with having dyslexic symptoms. And all of these people have been able to succeed and actually excel in life, even though they've had those disabilities, because they strive to prove, one of the ways is they strive to prove that they're not stupid, which is a misconception that a lot of people with dyslexia have. Actually, dyslexics are average mental ability, or sometimes even above. They also have been able to pass through those areas of disability and excel. And they also seem to try harder, which builds character, and character is just another way to succeed. In conclusion, we've discussed 3 points. The effects of dyslexia symptoms, coping with dyslexia symptoms, and famous people that have succeeded with dyslexia symptoms. I'd like to leave you with 2 quotes from G. Sagmiller, who's a dyslexic who wrote a novel about his life. Dyslexia is not a disease to have and be cured of, but a way of thinking and learning. And often, it's a gifted mind waiting to be found and taught.